Truth lies in the middle of the perception of the eyes that have perception. This violence that explains sometimes why it's hard to comprehend. Who's to compromise for the empty promises, full of remorse that they can't find a way out? Peeking for your light and shadows is not easily looked over for the logic of the sweat produced. This is thought. Modified to your sleep through the amnesty. Peripheral for the eyes to see the unbelievable portrayed of your ideologies. A parallel form for your paradox in line for the propaganda, for the proportionally pray before you pray with the eyes open for you closed mind, just to find the bliss for the execution to feel the peace beneath the surface. Your common ground and unfamiliar bloodlines, this is untied for the wrist. Loosely resist for the destitute, your anti-up ancestry. Your belly taught for you had the ears to feel the witness of the mirror. The past message you walk past, the pasture for the pastures, the place for the plastic garbage patches to fill. Holes of your ozone, you need not to be apologetic for the silence, and this is rather authentic for you can find the talking about. Here's a description for the interpersonal relationships and your interpretation. Scriptures for the living word, when you find in haiku syllables for the feeling of the paraplegic pain, settled for the unsuring of the raising of a hand, for this is the fist tight to righteous acts. Now reactions to rights, this is spiked under the tender topics of your troubling water, strapped this like jackets for your coat and chill factor for the blood. Warms the heart to ignite the emotion, utilizing the kinetic energy for the circulation to break the cycles of patterns and talk. As culture was paradox somewhere synonymous to the equinox in space and time, relevance for your finding a truth for the numbers. Not to forget before, give before not. This untie the cursed words from being tongue-tied for the lack of the words. It is misled for the heart. A piece of your paper in the shape of the balloon, not crumbling away for the wind for this to present. Your current love breeze to take flight for the counting of the number of times I answered that math. Eventually it was my calling to know the purpose and not propose. Your position for the propelling of the vision. Tune the tunnel supersides to the high notes to sing. To Mother Earth's white notes are easily mistaken for your missing that what was not taken in place. Reported distorted for the distant waves of the gravitation to pull for the vibrating and the radiant vibes. Shrines of the families of the ox, with the herbs and not the capacity for the capital zip coast of the soul for this reconnected for the soil to reincarnate. I can find what's reincarnated for the carnation of who. Love's knives erase the vehicles and the driving of ambition for the steer clear of the pollution for the can't wait to carbon emissions for the electronic and the recondition for the any weather for the conditions of re-edition. You can find it invited for the vital times and you have to watch my name. This is numbers around the clock for the fool. You to keep it 100 for you can be Benjamin Button for thought there was only the getting the older for enough for the history to be obsolete for the libraries for the lie and silence and not to speak too loud for the rousing and awakening of the sheep. But who's to tell from here? This is all for the persevering of what you have for this is what's in store for the D for that instead of that for the individual for the environment for your involving your indoors and inland for the same for the international enlightenment. I was guessed it was to take the sin. Intermittent food for thought for the who wanted to wait. Understanding for what was lost and found. And pollinate for the inane interpretation without your feeling of the spirit for the mystical timelines and time out for the truth and historical oracles for your history for the only be the nutrition for your alphabetical alpha and omegas. You find the temple of what you eat for the esoteric for the esoteric for the best toast for this between meals of the righteousness for this alliterate for the all with the fed for the manipulation of the population control for your lies and truly as the line. Who's to reach the teacher just in case it's the high burn to world's biggest heartburn. This to find the goat for the foul. Pay the rhythm for the air for the ego to find the bluebird. Innovative for the jaded domestic for your dictation to the web. I find defending your galaxy for your salty currency for the dependency to depend you to the ass like a donkey. This will make you sleep. For the remedies for the determined, you're ignorant. Enough for the mind to determine. Shove that joint for this to be what it meant to the ignorance for the final convincing of what you're fencing over your border for the grits of the religion for the reliance of others for the intelligence for the beastly for the obedience for the allegiance for the alignment for the atonement for the monopolizing over what you can find the sight to see the blind with. And I will define to take the order for the border. What's to be entertained for the not to be trained for the taking order for the state of mind for the mind for the never the matter for the much of what you can find that mind just to find the bending of words so that you find the shape shifting over what you can find equators to find to keep you away from this attracting the train of thought from you. Lost. That's right. And I, through the agony, find the smelling of the rose dipped into the love for the rebirth of the garden soil with the smiles of gratitude for the light-hearted stuff for the complete your orbit for the galaxies to voice the breeze and unventilated rooms to touch us out of the waters of the life to raise the photosynthesis into the royal golden days before that for the dry. I could find the gratification for the devalued. Sacred gestures for your longevity, your future timetables, the cradle, the baby, the heaven again for the feeling of heaven arrive into the scent for the scent to my heart for the blasting for the sight for the witnessing of a captivated swoon into you.
Looking for the thing that's wrong. It's the chim's brawl. Stunt man, gonna take a fall. He says, and I heard him call for his mother, and I didn't even call my mother. I wanted to avoid talking about the elephant in the room, the pig on my neck, the devil on detail. We were born of a people who were torn from their people for the root of all evil. From it sprung the trunk, the branches, and the fruit of all evil. Unless they need you, they act as if they don't see you, besiege you and tell you to cooperate as if it's something you agreed to. But for a criminal's constitution, nothing's illegal, except people who were once property, destroying property, upheaval. Keep your eye on the sparrow, the bald eagle, defeathered and beheaded at the stoop of the steeple, guarded by soldiers, stupid yet lethal. It doesn't matter if a liar has a republic or democracy or monarchy, it's malarkey. Don't mind me if I seem a little off-key or I sing a little off-key. But when we're on keys, we can unlock things. Souls freed, otherwise held hostage. On the ebony and ivory with the heart of a Gnostic but hands of a locksmith. A pharmacist, a prescription for the toxic, eating away at our subconscious. 8-ball in a corner pocket, 8-ball on a corner copy. How can we stop it when the cops and the robbers, money is their religion, they follow the same prophets? So don't mind me if I seem a little off-key or I sing a little off-key. But once we're in tune, we can conduct the cosmos, conductor of the orchestra, conductor of the Underground Railroad. Don't you see the kick, the thump, the heart, the crashing cymbals as symbols of shields? No Captain America, no Captain America. If you're black and the finger snap, fade the black in America. So don't mind me if I seem a little off-key or I sing a little off-key. More than mere melody, using horn and string to quarantine from a disease that sees us as less as human and more as things. So we don't play music, we pray music. Those same nooses hang useless, raise the dead like Jesus did. We don't play music, we pray music. Vivid, lucid dreams let loose in the pure hearts with divine acoustics. We lay blueprints at the blue note. I come from a people transmuted, transformed by song, until the musicians are translucent, until you see through them and see through this and bear witness to the oneness that from nothingness brought forth all of existence. So don't mind me if I seem a little off-key or I sing a little off-key. It's more than mere melody, I'm in tune. We're in tune. You Finally learn to be okay with yourself if there's something you thought you could never do.
You
finally learn to be okay with yourself.
Learn to be okay with yourself if there's something you thought you could.
Finally learn to be okay with yourself if there's something you thought you could never do. You have finally found the beauty that lives deep inside of you. The hole inside of the heart for the sit and cry, for the miss you every day, for the live and never the knew this bump, with the parole for the destinies ahead, for the know the minute, for the never be broken inside, for the never gonna be a hole until you reunite with yourself. You shaded
on another shore.
You finally learned to be okay with yourself if there's something you thought you could never do. You have finally found the beauty that lives deep inside of you. The hole inside of the heart for the sit and cry, for the miss you every day, for the live and never the knew this bump, for the parole for the destinies ahead, for the know the minute, for the never be broken inside, for the never gonna be a hole until you reunite with yourself. Shaded under sorrow's broad vines, this made jokes open hearted. Arch bare for the night to repeat it to death. This is rent night and growing of the inner anguish and sorrow. Sing over your wise. It was not made for to make change and reread the poems of this things that have changed, never to fully delete for the rearranging of what you can find in dreaming. Betray themselves, for this is what you know the real self. This for the moment for the corner of the memory lane for the scattered flowers. What was between us? And I don't know, but nothing as you came towards me acting like a stranger. What hurts me more is that you didn't speak and act like a stranger. For that, for the wasting my time, for the really need that, for the wasting the time, for another two, for the stranger, for always make a question what was between us. Forgive and forbidden kissing the neck of the you can find a turning of what you have different days to be touched by the energy for the dirty hands in your mouth for the watch it land for the green pastures. When I was young, for the think different, and enough for the simpler, for the things were better than. Or whether the thought for the that, for the dark present, for the life still linger, for the this and didn't know, for the made me burden free, for this and know, for the cost of food, for this and how to know it should last. This is how much it was left, for the bills were paid enough, for the did I care for enough, for the light, for the water to use. Now for the things I not know, for this to have me the burden free, for this never really eat now, for the week can flow into the next week, for this to save the just because of the working class and never the money disposed. Talk to myself, the past of times, not the waste of life, for the stink sometimes because I don't want to touch the pipes. At least this remain humble in the mind for this to stay in line for the one day for the blessing to come on time. Is this the time for another attempt for the hoping to hold your heart for this a while and content for this should I relent? Or let it slide for the west this is wine and roads for the green and pasture for the walk behind the picking over the weeds and the short I made for the pastures to stay green. A quote spelling that for the filling of the words. Green pastures and not for the quote for the spilling and the filling of the word for this to see the purple mountains majesty for the recalling of the time for the you held me. Drops of honey from the eyes at the tangled mess of lies for the final exploding into the weather you can never know. Did the flowers say hello? The clouds wave back at you for the moon smile. And are you lost? Inspired fresh sheets sharp lead for this to scramble thoughts of emotions bled. And tainted will for the dulling edge of the deafened ear. Towards life at the pledge. Alone, never life at the how can you miss someone that you ever gone now? You never met. Need now. Need you now for something to rely on. But don't know you yet. And I always dreamt the perfect fancy for the date for the hanging over the having everything for the imperfect the self and the play for the winning over drops this vine and what's upon an unused storm. This is sit there like a shallow and vain for the wind drops and you can find the dropping of everything. To lose everything seemingly giving up of what you ensue for the different view. Mustn't give up for the mustering of the courage for the realizing the nightmare for the envelope of the me for the wind drops that for the now for the down the doubt for this to trout me for the mustn't give up for the need the cheat to cheat for this to glee for the wind that drops and the beat too. Never felt for the effect of the laughter for the warming of bloom for the heart. Hallowed enough for the flowers to be inspired for the fresh breeze and seasons for the missing. Or however dreamt perfect enough for the wind and shallow in the frame for the eye can find the containing of laughter skips the heartbeat for the love is blind but kind. You came to me for like the rain for the shower for the dry terrain. Broken. And I thought that I was with the glue for the putting back together for the missing a piece or two for the cold heart burns of flame for this is never the very start for the cold or a dart made out of gold for the straightening over my heart for the dam I can find what's this blue flame inside that lit
flame that glows, split by you for the hair, for the never to find a sting, for the you can remember the turning back, for the heart, those in flames, to see the taste night, for this don't care about the thing, for the safety, get never there, for the last night you call for the blossoming of the daisy, for the be fine enough, for the falling into what you can find is mine. Filling my head with thoughts, spilling out my ears, dripping down my nose. So many thoughts, this is adrenaline of you. For this absence to make the hearts grow fonder. For the therapists to argue never, not the true. Question and answer for the facing it with the flush, just gently pulling the hair for this night. For this to make you so fond of you. Questions and answers inspire, but where? For the world's a problem. The heart lies in the stomach for after you ate it. We want to quantify it, feel it, touch it with it, you can know it's real. But the love is all around.
Wonderful. She asked, how does it feel when the poem comes out? I said, it's like I'm writing my insides out. And I gotta get it out before my pen dries out, before my ego finds out. Can't let my ego find out. Because when I'm writing my insides out, my every fear, my every flaw flies out. In my ego where those fears and flaws hide out. So whatever I do, can't let my ego find out. If I couldn't write my insides out, I don't know, I'd probably blow my bloody mind out. Instead I write and recite to bloom your third eye out. She said, oh, that's what Danger, Dead Man Walking's all about? I said, yeah. She said, well, I'm glad you took the divine route. And I said, yes, I took the divine route, but it's only a matter of time before the world finds out this is both heaven and hell coming out of my mouth. She asked, where is the truth hidden? She asked, and it made me laugh, not because she asked, but because as I'm living, I'm learning that the truth is hidden everywhere, literally everywhere. There is no place you can scour, search, or visit except the truth is in it. The truth is hidden even in the question, where is the truth hidden? In truth, the truth isn't hidden, it can't be hidden. It is the true and living. Those that are seeking to hide the truth try to convince me and you that they hid it, but they didn't. It is not that the truth isn't being spoken, perhaps we are just not ready to listen. Certainly we are not ready to listen. And you may be at home in my poem, and if not, you may just visit. And if you can't visit, maybe you shouldn't listen. I mean, my poetry is not for everyone. It's no navy blue Yankee fitted. In fact, it's highly acidic, enough to burn through the mind of a critic. Why be a cynic? When we're moving beyond the speed of light, there is no difference between time and distance. Such I'm both here and there in the same instant. For instance, I'm both man and infant, both devil and angel. I'm both the witness and the witnessed, both monk and misfit. I am the medicine in this sick. And if you would like to know what the truth is, and I wrote the answer, which is the axis of the seven senses, and I told sis, hold this close to your heart and to your soul, sit still when it's summer solstice. She said, I can't keep my soul still, it's hard to hold my focus. She said, I've noticed that I can't seem to focus on any real goals, I can only focus on what's closest. She said, how do you know what your goal is? I said, I don't. How does one save the souls of the soulless? An eviction notice stapled to the heart of the heedless. Souls left homeless. No place to reside in, so they hide out and slide in the bodies of two-eyed men. So my lyricism is an exercise in exorcism, but the exoteric call it esotericism. I learned jihad from Rumi. The Sunni call me Shia, the Shia call me Sufi. The feds say I have WMDs, what I do with the loose leaf, because what I do with the loose leaf make devils lose sleep. And I don't care who's on whose deen. I follow the one who ascended the seven heavens and lands on 2 feet. And they say that the Lord will come like a thief in the night. Perhaps the Lord will come in the things that I write, and the things that I bleed, and the things that we read, and the things we recite. Maybe they're afraid I'll spit fire in these carry streets and ignite. Or that I'll spit water in these barren streets and give life. And I've learned that the thing that pulls the fiend to the pipe is the same thing that pulls a human being to the light. The love of love, a means to cope. So I try to inhale their dreams and exhale hope. Homeboy said, man, the people either feel it or don't. So you can inhale their dreams and exhale hope, but you better chew poppy seeds and spit out dope. And that reminded me of a passage, and I quote, Allah will not change the condition of a people, and today change the condition was what's within themselves. End quote. Inshallah, I won't falter. Steady rock of Gibraltar, swift traversing waters. Verses I've authored, I offer as a solemn sacrifice upon the altar in order to alter the current conditions of our sons and our fathers. And they say we need more black mayors and black lawyers. I say we need more black John Mayers to win Grammys for singing songs about our daughters, because we are caught in a culture of defeatism, worshiping victims and martyrs. We are not victims but victors, so we would witness our honor, our brilliance, our resilience, and our beauty is farther than Pippin hoes, chicken dough, Gucci and Prada. From Scio Street to Simpson Road, we are shook in the trauma of terrorism that precedes Al Qaeda and Osama. Forget Bin Laden